episode of Flyer News, we have 2 bread news stories.
Then we have the weather with Mason Garofalo.
As well as Quote of the Day presented to us by Andrew Feinblatt.
Finally, we have Epic World.
All that and more coming up on the latest edition of Flyer News.
But honey, I'll be seeing you ever I go. But honey, I'll be seeing you down every road. I'm waiting for it, that green light. 'Cause honey, I'll come get my things, but I can't let go. I'm waiting for it, that green light. Oh honey, I'll come get my things, but I can't let go. I'm waiting for it, that green light. Yeah, honey,
Good morning, Flyers. Today is day 2 with periods running C, A, D, G, F. From Flyer News, I am Berkeley Gentry.
And I'm Elliott Lord.
It's finally the holiday season.
Even if you don't celebrate any of the winter holidays, it's still awesome to see all the lights and stuff.
I agree, especially when places go all out.
Like the Rockefeller Christmas tree?
Exactly. Let's send it over to Gabe Coelho with a story about the Rockefeller Christmas tree lighting.
The Rockefeller Center Christmas tree lighting marks the start of the holiday season in New York City. This iconic event, which dates back to 1933, attracts millions of visitors from around the world. The article Rockefeller Center Christmas tree lighting, how to watch, what time it starts, and what to know, breaks down everything you need to know about the celebration. The tree lighting ceremony takes place in late November or early December, usually around 8 p.m., and it is free to attend. However, due to the large crowds, it's recommended to arrive early to secure a good spot if you plan to witness the lighting in person. For those who prefer to avoid the crowds, the event is broadcasted live on television, typically on NBC, allowing viewers to enjoy the performances and festivities at home. The tree itself is the star of the show. Standing up to 100 feet tall, it has thousands of sparkling lights and topped with a glittery Swarovski star. The tree is carefully chosen each year, often coming from different parts of the U.S., and it's a symbol of the holiday, joy, and hope. The article also offers practical tips for those attending, such as preparing for cold weather and navigating security screenings. Whether you're braving the crowds or watching from the warmth of your home, the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree lighting is a magical experience that brings people together to celebrate this season's spirit of joy and unity. I'm Gabe Coelho, bringing it back to the desk.
It finally snowed a little.
I was so happy. If it's going to be freezing, it might as well be pretty. I hope we get more snow.
I agree. Plus, snow means fun winter activities.
Yeah, do you know if it's going to snow again soon?
I don't, but let's send it over to Mason Garofalo with this weekend's weather forecast.
It's Monday morning.
Good morning, Flyers, and welcome back to this week's weather report. I'm your host, Mason Garofalo. Getting into the start of this week, at a glance, it's going to be rainy this week. Starting off on Monday, we will have a high of 42 and a low of 38, along with that a 65% precipitation. Moving in here on Tuesday, there is not visible rain as of right now, with cloudy skies, a high of 41 and a low of 38. Then getting into Wednesday, it will be raining with a 75% precipitation and an absurdly high temperature of 61 degrees in the middle of December, and a low of 41. That's all for this week's weather report, and let's send it back to the desk.
Do you take a world language?
Yeah, I take French. Why?
Did you hear about what happened with the Notre Dame Cathedral recently?
No, I don't think so. What happened?
Ben Hunt can tell you with a story about the Notre Dame Cathedral.
The Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris reopened for the first time since a fire in 2019 that nearly destroyed the famous and historic 12th century cathedral. 2,500 guests were allowed, including President-elect Donald Trump, First Lady Jill Biden, Britain's Prince William, and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. Notre Dame is considered the pinnacle of French architecture and heritage. Nearly $1 billion in donations came from around the world to rebuild the historic building, illustrating the global appeal appeal of the cathedral reopening. Artisans used traditional handcraft techniques to restore Notre Dame to look better than ever. Notre Dame looks to continue to be a spiritual and cultural beacon going forward. The original 5-year goal of reconstruction was nearly met, coming in at 5.5 years despite challenges like the COVID-19 pandemic and avoiding toxic lead dust from the fire. Despite the cathedral coming dangerously close to collapsing, the bell tower's stained glass rose windows and other precious artworks were mostly intact. The building was secured in 2021, allowing for repairs to begin. A permanent sliding umbrella-like structure was created to shield the interior from rain. After years of work, the 5.5-year-long process concluded positively with the cathedral's first Mass on Sunday as one of the world's most famous tourist attractions and historic buildings reopened, symbolizing hope for France as a whole. From Flyer News, I'm Ben Hunt, and let's send it back to the desk.
At the top of the box office charts is, of course, the incredibly disappointing Moana 2, which earned $50 million on its second week of its release. This brings the film's global total to $600 million. Holy crap. Wicked made it past the $400 million mark this weekend and has proved to be popular in many countries, but not as much as in China, where it only made $1.2 million and placed the number 8 in the China box office. Gladiator 2 comes in at third in worldwide box office charts, with it collecting $17 million this weekend and boosting the grand total to $368.4 million globally. Next is the Christmas action comedy Red One, which made $3.5 million from more than 4,000 screens overseas, bringing its global box office total to $164 million. The re-release of Interstellar has also been climbing the charts and made $4 million this weekend.
This Friday and Saturday, Framingham will be hosting some festive events. On Friday, there will be a tree lighting on Union Avenue from 5 to 7:30. There will be singing and festivities before the tree gets lit around 6:15 p.m. On Sunday, people are invited to go to the Village Hall for caroling on the Common. This weekend will include many lights, festivities, and hopefully smiles. Once again, these events will be on Friday, December 13th and Saturday, December 14th.
Are you ready
I don't know, what am I supposed to be ready for?
to be inspired?
Yeah, sure, what's going to inspire me?
The quote of the day with Andrew Feinblatt.
Hey, what's up everybody? It's Gentry with a new episode of Epic World. Today's episode is about the beginning of the American railroad system. So, let's jump in.
The very first North American railroad transportation system, or gravity road, was created in 1764 for military purposes. Because of recent settlement all around the American frontier, the developing agriculture and natural resources being exploited, demands rose for new forms of transportation that could carry people and goods. The first map that plotted out a commercial tram road was drawn sometime in October of 1809 by John Thompson. This tram road was commissioned by the wealthy tobacconist and friend of Thomas Jefferson, Thomas Elbl, who wanted to make a railroad going from his sawmill/quarries to his house. Thompson and Reading Howell, the project manager, started to build Elbl's railroad, and they became the first people to build wooden train tracks. In 1826, a new tram road was constructed in Quincy, Massachusetts by Girdley Bryant, and it was used to transport the granite needed to build the Bunker Hill Monument. These early innovations that kick-started the railway system gave way for more innovations in transportation methods. John Stevens is considered to be the father of American railroads. In 1815, the first railroad charter was granted to Stevens, and others followed soon after. Construction of the Baltimore and Ohio Railway started in 1830, and by the end of the year, about 14 miles of the track were opened up. After tracks were expanded in 1831, new tracks were opened. Tracks such as the Mohawk and Hudson opened in September of 1830, and the Saratoga opened in July of 1832, were some of the first railroads in America. In 1883, the South Carolina and Railroad Company line was constructed, which consisted of over 130 miles of tracks, making it the longest steam railroad in the world. The Boston and Providence line was opened in 2 sections in 1834, and in 1847, a quicker route into Providence was added. The New Haven Railroad eventually leased out this track in 1893, and it became New Haven's primary line into Boston. Almost 100 years later, Penn Station was formed, and the section of the B&P line in Massachusetts was purchased by the state in 1973. And the other section in Rhode Island was purchased by Amtrak in 1976. Today you can still ride the original B&P railway route if you take Amtrak's Northeast Corridor or Providence and Worcester freight lines. These lines remain the only intact freight.
That was not quote of the day, and that was a new installment of Epic World. Wow.
Well, as amazing as it was, it's very sad that we're nearing the end of today's show.
But before we go, we have the pledge and then some announcements.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That is all for today's episode of Flyer News.
You can rewatch this and other broadcasts again on our YouTube channel or on the FEC TV tab on our school's website.
While you're at it, don't forget to check us out on Instagram at Framingham High Studios.
Additionally, make sure you remember that you can sign up to make an announcement by going to the link in our Instagram bio. From Flyer News, I'm Elliott Lord.
And I'm Berkeley Gentry. Thespians, have a malicious Monday, Flyers.
Bags last night, pre-flight, 0 hour, 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high as a kite by then. I miss the earth so much, I miss my wife. It's lonely out in space on such a time